Namaste, friends. Here we are again on Hump Day, no less. Okay, first day of lockdown. Dun dun dun. Feeling quite anxious yesterday, but I'm feeling a little bit better today. I had a headache for like 48 hours plus. So I think sometime midday today, I started to feel a lot better. The headache kind of left. The wonders of coffee. I'm giving credit to coffee. So come into the most comfortable sitting position you could possibly come into. Ideally, sure, we want you to have your legs crossed and sitting up nice and tall. But if crossing your legs doesn't facilitate that comfort, you don't have to sit with your legs crossed. However, do pay attention to the positioning of your hips in relation to your knees. If I wasn't sitting up on my block, my knees would be higher than my hips, and then it's going to put a lot of strain on my hip flexors. We don't want that. You want comfort. So elevating my hips helps to alleviate some of that stress. And then I can sit up nice and tall, give my pelvis that room it needs so it can tilt forward, so I can have a nice long spine so my lordotic curve is present. And then draw your ribs in and just take a few moments to be here, arrive fully. Forget everything that happened before with me faffing around on the mat, trying to figure out how to speak. Close your eyes and just take some deep breaths in. Like imagine like a river filled with air. You're filling it, you're breathing it all in, fill up, take all of it in, hold it, and then let it all out. Okay, do that a couple times and then start to slow it down and come back to our normal ujjayi breath. And if you're not familiar with ujjayi breath, it's a gentle restriction at the back of the throat. One way you can think of it is if you've ever taken a mirror or if you've ever gone to clean your glasses, and when you breathe on the glasses, it fogs up the glasses or it fogs up the mirror. So it's a similar thing that you're doing when you do the ujjayi breathing. So after you've inhaled and exhaled fully about 3 or 4 times, come into your natural breath, and then you're going to gently go into the ujjayi breathing. You can have your eyes closed, or you can just soften your gaze. Just find a position with the eye where you feel at ease. Beginning your ujjayi breathing, the victorious breath. Keeping your eyes closed and continuing with your ujjayi breath, just begin to roll your shoulders. And you can exaggerate this movement, being mindful of the 4 ways your shoulder blades can move. So when you move your shoulders forward to initiate your roll, that's your protraction. And then when you draw them up to your ears, that is elevation. And draw them to each other to retract, and then drop them down towards the hips, which is depression. So go through those movements, keeping the eyes closed so that you really focus or just shift the attention to what's happening through the shoulders, what you're feeling between the shoulder blades and the muscles that support them and stabilize and mobilize them. Notice whether it feels crunchy, sticky, or if it's gliding effortlessly. Gliding effortlessly is ideally what we want. And now change direction with your shoulder rolls. Sometimes it may feel easier to move them in one direction than the other. Couple more rolls. Good. Now I'm going to mess with your brain. And can you move one forward and one back at the same time? Try that on for size. What is that going to look like? And then switch it. Or what? My brain is like, I don't know what you want me to do. So just try it. See what happens. I don't even know if I'm getting it done. Good. And then come back to neutral. If you need to change your leg position anytime, please feel free to do so. Stretch your arms out. So we're going to go through internal and external rotation at your shoulders. Sometimes when the neck gets tight, it's because the shoulder blades, the shoulder muscles here are tight. So stretching the arms out, palms are going to face forward. I want you to externally rotate from the shoulder. It is easy to just move from the elbow and flip the wrist, but I want you to move from the head of the arm. So externally rotate, maybe do one at a time. And when you do that, you're going to feel your shoulder blade shift down and start to lift the chest up. Do the other one now. Go to your maximum with your external rotation without letting the ribs pop, and now press your arms back as far back as they will go without deepening your lordotic curve, that low back arch, and without letting the ribs pop. And then bring the arms back and undo it. Come back to neutral. Now do the opposite. Internally rotate. Turn one first, then turn the other as far as you can internally rotate, and I'll press them back. If you can clasp, you can reach them back, and you can even tilt forward if you will, and keep moving them back. And then slowly come back up and rotate the arms and come back to neutral. Release. It can be a lot. Just roll your shoulders out again and notice if there's any difference. For some of us, it feels a lot looser. It feels a little bit more open. And that gliding, that flossing that we did in the beginning is easier because we've managed to open up that fascia that can get super, super tight because we're in these fixed positions for long periods of time. So if you need to do that again, go ahead and do it again. One more round. Externally rotate first, press the arms back, shoot them back forward, then internally rotate and dip forward and move them up and back. Keep reaching them back and then uncurl and come back to neutral. One more thing we're going to do before we get a little bit more movement going is we're going to come into Garudasana arm. But before we do, switch the legs out. Whew. Stretch them out. Good. Now I wasn't sitting in my default way. I had my left leg in first, but if you were sitting in your default way, come back to do the opposite. So now I'm going to get to sit the way that feels most comfortable for me, just for this last bit. So Garudasana arms, eagle arms. Take your right arm underneath your left. If you can manage to cross above your elbow joint, go for it. Now your left shoulder is going to be higher than your right. Use your shoulder blade muscles to draw it down so they're both level. Option one is to stay here, but I really want you to try as much as you can to bring the back of your hands or the back of the forearms to touch. If you can manage that and it feels pretty okay there, stay there. But if you know you got it and you can go ahead and continue wrapping the arms around to bring the palms to meet, come to that position there. I'm only turning sideways so you can see what I want you to do next, but you can stay as you are. So when you're sitting in that position, your spine wants to stay neutral, the lower back, that part. You're going to protract the shoulder blades a little bit and lift the elbows up. Tuck your chin into the chest, and then you're going to pull your ribs in and flex the mid upper back. Try not to round the lower back. Keep the lower back in neutral and isolate it to the mid upper back. What I'm hoping you're experiencing here is a broadening sensation through the mid upper back. Breathe into that space that you just opened up and loosened up. Take 3 huge inhales into that space, breathing into the back of the rib cage. Hold it in and exhale, pull the navel in, scoop the navel in. Then come up, open up the arms, keep the elbows bent, draw the shoulder blades back, so retract, and then guide your elbows down to the sides of the ribs and lift the chest up. Again, not letting the ribs pop and the booty stick out. Keep it classy. Okay, good. And release. Second side. You have the right arm underneath the left, take the left underneath the right. Now choose. You will get the same sensation here. It's just not going to be as deep or as strong. And that's fine as long as you're feeling that opening and that stretch. So wherever you can be comfortably, hug yourself, back of the forearms or back of the hands, or a full double wrap. Remember, the right shoulder needs to drop down, protract, so move the shoulder blades away from each other. Lift just the elbows up. Try not to shrug the shoulders up, but just move the elbows up. Chin comes in like you're holding on to the side of a pillowcase, a pillow when you're trying to put the pillowcase on, and then flex the mid upper back. And then breathe, big breath in. Exhale, draw the navel in and up. Inhale again, expand. And exhale, navel in and up. One more, inhale, expand. And exhale. Inhale, come all the way up, open up the arms. And exhale, draw them back, slide them down, lift the chest up. Remember, keep it classy. And release. Upper body should be feeling good. Come onto your hands and knees. All right. Knees under your hips, toes. Actually, just stretch your toes out and just tap them on the mat. I don't know why I'm asking you to do that. I did it the other day and it felt good. Just go with it. Good. All right. So you can retap them if you like to stretch out the bottom of your feet and your toes. Maybe bounce a little bit here or pulse a little bit here, just to intensify that stretch. And now take it into your cat and your cow movements. The other day, I was watching one of my videos of my classes, and I realized that I have a lot of flexibility, flexion in my mid upper back, but the mobility in my lower back could do with some improvement. So when you're going through your flexion and extension through your cat and your cow, really pay attention to what's happening in your body. If you find it's really easy to let the ribs flare and overarch the lower back, and then really easy to round the spine and leave the lower back out of the equation, see if it feels like you could get more mobility in one area and maybe a little less mobility in the other. For me right now, I need to focus on getting less mobility in the flex position of my mid upper back and more mobility in my lower back. So I have to really focus on curling and pulling my navel in here, and then really getting a bit more extension in my mid upper back. That makes sense. And I only noticed that because I really paid attention. And you can feel it too. Couple more. Good. Come back to center. Let's just take a quick puppy stretch just to open up the shoulders one more time. So stay with the hips anchored over your knees. Walk your hands forward. You can stay up on your fingertips. We're not going to stay here for long. Press the fingertips down. Lower your forehead towards the mat. It doesn't have to touch, but if it can, allow it to. Keep the ribs drawing in. Full breath in, upper back. Exhale it out. Draw the navel in. One more, inhale. And exhale. Press down into the fingertips to lift your upper body up. Drop the hands, walk them back in. Now shift your hips back, and I'll press down into your feet, lift your knees off, moving into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Before you start to find movement in your downward dog, find power in the stillness of your pose, of the asana. Check in with your hands, make sure the bridge and the pads of your fingers are pressing in equally and they're strong, and your feet are, you can bend your knees here, spin the inner thighs back, lift your sitting bones up as you push the heels down to the earth. Draw the ribs in, Lift up the armpits a little bit here. And now breathe into the sides and back of the rib cage. Get your body super long. Move the hips way back. Create a nice long spine here, lower back arch present. And now you can find movement. Alternate bending your knees. Coming back to the Ujjayi breath if we forgot about it. Couple more. Come to stillness. Step your feet as wide as, and now walk your hands back towards your feet. When your entire soles of the feet hit the ground, just check to make sure that the outer edges of your feet are lining up with the outer edges of your mat. It might mean that your big toes turn in a little bit. Let that happen. Ground down your feet towards the earth. Root the big toe and little toe mounds, as well as the inner and outer heel. Bend your knees as much as you need to here. Send your hips way back and reach your fingertips way forward. Bring your arms a little bit wider if you need more space. So if they're in shoulder width and you still feel constricted or restricted in your shoulders, just broaden them a little bit more. Take a big breath into the back and sides of your rib cage and feel it fill up and move away from your pelvis. On your exhalation, keep that fullness and draw the navel in towards the spine like we've been doing a little bit before when we're breathing in our flex forward position. Take another big breath in and exhale. Keep moving the hips back. If your hips are in line with your ankles, shift them even further back so the weight is in your heels of your feet. Lift the sides of your throat back so the back of the neck and the throat stay equally nice and long, so you're not overarching or overextending through the neck, closing off your airway. Huge breath in. Huge breath out. Slide your hands towards your shins. Draw the head of the arm bones up towards the ceiling. And now start to lift up to about halfway, curling the heart forward. So you have a nice long spine. Take another big breath in and come all the way up. Sweep the arms around and up. Bring your palms to meet. And now the exhalation, bring your hands into your heart. Good. Take a huge step or several steps, hop, jump, somersault, whatever you feel in the mood for, to the top of your mat. Once you arrive, feet are at hips distance. Just going to move through a couple of rounds of our sun salutations. Hands at your heart center. Extend your arms along the side of your body with your palms facing forward. Checking in with the weight distribution here, making sure that your weight is in the heels as well as in the big toe, little toe mounds of your feet. Pull the energy from the earth through your legs, through the pelvis, through your upper body, arms, and head. Draw your inner thighs in towards each other. Draw your navel in. Move the shoulders back and down so you feel your shoulder blades holding you here. Root down through your legs. Inhale, sweep your arms up. On your exhalation, bend your knees, hinge your hips, and fold your body in half, moving into Uttanasana, your forward fold. Inhale, palms to hands, and curl your heart forward into Ardha Uttanasana. On your exhalation, step your left foot to the back of the mat, rest your left knee down. Gently draw your right heel back towards your left knee and draw the right hip back. Press down through the legs once again. Inhale, breathe into the back body and sweep your arms up. On your exhalation, plant your hands and step back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. Inhale, move forward into a plank. Rest your knees down right away. Exhale into your Ardha Chaturanga. Come all the way down. Stretch your toes super far away from you. Sweep your arms alongside your body. Palms can face the thighs. Inhale, curl the heart forward and up for Shalabhasana, locust. Exhale, slowly release. Plant your hands by the sides of the ribs. Tuck your toes under and inhale, press up to a kneeling plank. And exhale into Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can always choose Balasana, child's pose if you feel you need to. On your next inhalation, sweep your left leg up, bend your knee and open up your hip. Keep the right armpit full. so you're not allowing that side of the body to collapse. Step your left foot to the top of your mat. By your left thumb, rest your right knee down. Hug into the midline, draw your low belly in. Inhale, sweep your arms and upper body up. Exhale, reach, 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 fingertips to the floor. Ground down into the left leg. Float your right leg up as you shift the weight into the left leg. Reach the right leg out behind you as you reach your heart forward into a supported warrior 3. On your exhalation, step the right foot forward next to the left, and now fold your body deeply in half. Inhale into your Ardha Uttanasana or halfway lift. Exhale, fold deeply once again, as deeply as you can manage. Remember, the knees can be bent any degree. Ground down through your legs and inhale, slowly come all the way up. Bring your palms to meet and exhale, hands into the heart. Release your arms by the sides of the body. Let's go again. Big breath in, sweep it up. Exhale it all the way down, bend the knees, hinge the hips way back, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot steps way back. Rest your right knee. Make sure you are at hips distance. And don't move until you feel steady and ready here. Once you are, inhale, sweep it up. And exhale it down. There's no pressure to go any faster than you know that you're able to. Take it into your downward dog or balasana. Shift forward into your plank. If you know you want to do a full plank, that option is available to you. Otherwise, rest your knees down. Gaze is forward, tummy in and tight. Bend your elbows. Come all the way down. Let's take it into Shalabhasana again. Stretch the arms along the side of the body. So energetically reach your fingertips and your toes, spread them out and lift. Slowly release. Plant your hands by the sides of the body. Tuck your toes under. Firm everything. Inhale into your kneeling plank. And exhale all the way up into downward facing dog. Sweep your right leg up, bend your knee, and open up your hip. Keep your left armpit buoyant and up towards the ceiling. And then step it forward to the right hand. Well, don't step your left armpit forward to the right hand. Step your right foot forward to the right hand. Rest your left knee down. Inhale it all the way up. Anjaneyasana. Exhale down. Remember, we're moving into our supported warrior 3. So press down into the right leg. Lots of power here. Float the left leg up behind you. Really reach it back as you move the crown of the heart forward. And now step the left foot down and move into your forward fold. Uttanasana. Bend the knees deeply if necessary. Inhale into your Ardha Uttanasana, your halfway lift. Exhale, fold deeply once again. Elbows point outwards. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, bring it in. Good. So shift your weight into your left leg. Pick your right knee up. Move your right knee out to the right. And place your right foot on the inside of your left thigh for Vrikshasana, tree pose. Push your right foot into your left thigh and push your left thigh back into your right foot. Take your arms up above your head. Choose a focal point to fix your gaze upon that is not moving. Catch a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Take a full breath in, stretch the ribcage away from the pelvis. And now exhale, pull yourself ever so gently and carefully over to the right. Doesn't have to be a deep or huge side bend, just enough to open up the left side of the body. Take a full breath in. I like to call this tree blowing in the wind. This is a West Coast tree, West Coast coconut tree or palm tree. Ground down through the legs or through your trunk and inhale back up to center. Exhale, release your hands to the heart. Bring your left knee back to the front. Your right knee back to the front and release. Good. Second side, shift the weight into the right leg. Bring your left knee up. And now open up your left knee to your left, place your left foot and firmly plant it into the right thigh and plant the right thigh back. Lock it in. Again, find your focal point and stretch your arms up. Grab a hold of your right wrist gently with your left hand. Knit the rib cage in, ribs in, shoulders away from ears. Heavy and strong, inhale, lift up, and exhale, gently pull yourself over to your left. Keep your eyes on your focal point. Stay steady with your breath. Inhale back to the middle. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And carefully release your left knee back to the front and then rest it back down to the earth. Good. Take a huge breath in, sweep both arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, come all the way down into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot steps back. Rest the knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Turn the palms to face forward, bend the elbows, bring them down to the sides of the body, and curl the heart forward and up here. Inhale, come back up to the middle, bring the palms to meet, and exhale, bring the hands to the heart, going into a twist. Take a big breath in, keep that nice long spine, and exhale, move the left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Take another big breath in, breathe into the back of the rib cage. On the exhalation, spin the back left lung, if you will, towards the inside of your right thigh. So the twist is coming from the back, not from the upper body, but from the low back part of that rib. Press the palms into each other. Draw the right arm bone back and slide it down. Draw the right hip back. Hold it here, strong and steady. Big breath in. Bigger breath. One more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, slowly unwind. Rest your fingertips to the floor, pick up your left knee. And exhale, walk around to face the long side of your mat, bringing your legs to parallel, or feet to parallel rather. Bend your knees. Spin the inner thighs back. Come up onto your fingertips. Hinge the hips back, just as we did in that forward fold we did before, and walk your hands forward. Keep hinging the hips back as you reach your arms forward, and you can bring them wider than shoulder width. Take a full breath into the rib cage, and exhale, draw the navel in. Biceps are on either side of your ears. Full breath in, full breath out. One more, inhale, and exhale. Slowly walk your hands back towards you so that the wrists come underneath your shoulders, and shift your hips forward so that they're back in line with the ankles. Turn to face back to the front of your mat so the right foot comes back to the front. Back into that low lunge and step it back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can rest or you can take your vinyasa if you wish. If you're flowing, you're moving forward into your plank, rest your knees, lower into your chaturanga, come all the way down. Let's take a Bhujangasana this time if you did choose to flow. Slowly release. And now push yourself up and back. Downward facing dog. Good. Left leg is going to step forward. Bring your right knee down. Good. Ground down here through the legs. Gently draw your left hip back. Spin the inner thigh of the right side back. Navel in and inhale, come all the way up. Bend the elbows, exhale. And now as you draw the elbows down, you're lifting the heart up. It's a bit of a back bend here. You're drawing the shoulder blades back and sliding them down. Feel the shoulder blades lift the heart up, giving you that support. And then inhale it back up to center. Exhale, hands to heart. Get ready to move into your twist. Huge breath into the back body, creating that space. And now exhale, bring your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh or on top of it. Push the same way you push your foot into the thigh for your tree pose. Do that here with your twist. So tricep into the outer thigh into the tricep. Spin the right lung over to the left. Visualize it. Big breath in and exhale. So you know where that twist is coming from. Does that make sense? Hope it makes sense. Draw the head of the left arm bone back and slide it down. Take a big breath in again. Spin it forward a little bit more, deepen your rotation. Keep hugging into the midline. Big breath in. Bigger breath out. Slowly inhale to unwind. Come back to the front. Rest your fingertips down. Straighten out your left knee. Lift the right knee up. And turn to face the long side of your mat. So you're in that wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Now this time, grab a hold either to your big toes with your peace fingers, or grab a hold of the outside edges of your feet with your hands, or maybe hold on to your shins. Whichever option you choose, make sure it's the one that serves you best as we move into our fold. A bit of a bend to the knee, move the inner thighs back. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhale, go ahead and melt the heart down towards the earth. Your elbows are pointing outwards into your forward fold. Knees can be bent as much as you need them to be here. You can bring your blocks and use your hand, place your hands on your blocks. Just keep thinking about the heart moving down. Sitting bones are moving up, keeping a nice long sloping spine as if you were in your child's pose. One more inhale. Last exhale here. Bend your knees, release your bind. Carefully walk back to the front of your mat, coming into that lunge position. Step it back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa or take rest. There's no yoga shaming or judgment here. If you need to rest, go right ahead. If you are going to flow, roll forward into your plank, lower into your chaturanga, full or kneeling. Take it into the back bend of choice. You've got 3, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, Bhujangasana, or Shalambhasana. Let's all meet up in downward facing dog. Full breath in and a full breath out. 2 more breaths. Shift forward into plank pose. Rest your knees. Walk them as wide as your mat. Bring your toes into touch. Let your bum come to your heels for Balasana, child's pose. Your arms can stay stretched out in front of you, or you can bring them along the side of your body. If this feels like it can be a little bit of pressure on your neck, you can always take a block or stack, make fists and stack them and place them underneath your. Sometimes this pose can actually feel very uncomfortable in the hip flexors. If any of you are having that discomfort right now, let me know. No, everybody good? All right, good stuff. Good. One more inhale and exhale here. If your arms are along the side of your body, bring them out in front of you once again. Stretch them way out. Spread your fingers wide and energetically claw your hands into your mat. Press down into your palms. Lift your upper body up, looking at your thumbs. And now pull yourself forward and lift up into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog once again. Reach your right leg up, open up the hip. So bend your right knee, open it all the way up. And now step it forward to the top of your mat. Good. Bring the left knee down. Heel toe your right foot over to your left. Everybody there with me? Good. And out slowly, bring your right knee down towards your right wrist. Your shin may not be parallel. That's okay. It doesn't have to be. Mine isn't. Just walk your left knee back so you're in pigeon pose. I can never remember the Sanskrit for this. I think it's Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Don't quote me on that. Okay. So you're up on your fingertips. There is a drawing back of the right hip, a scissoring action, and a rolling forward of the left, and then a spin of the inner left thigh up towards the ceiling. Hug into the midline, so really squeeze like you want to close the legs, pull the low belly in, and lift yourself up. Huge breath in, and exhale, come down onto your forearms. From here, we are going to take it into a bind. I shouldn't say we are definitely going to do it. It is entirely up to you if you want to go that far with it. Okay, so we're going to hang out here for a little bit. Just keep an eye on the time. And then, always work towards going a little bit deeper into the asana. So it's important to pay attention to how you're feeling right now, focusing on your breath. If you think about allowing yourself to soften on the exhalations, you might be able to go a little bit deeper into the pose. Please know that if there is any pain or discomfort, do not force anything. There's no forcing here in this practice. So for this bind that I'm talking about, this quad stretch, and a bit of a twist as well. So I'll show you, there are two choices. My preference is to be down on my forearms. However, you don't have to be. So I'll show you the first option, which is up on the hands. So you can stay where you are, take a look at it, and then choose which option you want to go for. So if you're going for the one where you're up on your hands, I personally find it's a little bit more accessible if you bring the hand a little bit wider than shoulder distance or shoulder width. There's that drawing in to support you and the low belly comes in. You got to make sure that you're not on your patella, the knee biscuit, but you're above that part of the joint. You're bending the back leg. You reach the right arm out, open it up, and reach for your foot and pull the heel to the butt cheek. This is that, I'm not a huge fan of this one, but it's a good place to be. You're still getting the quad stretch and a hip flexor stretch and a twist. My preference is to be down here. Come onto the forearms. Same thing, elbow this is going to be a little bit wider. Lean a little bit off to the left. Walk the left knee back, bend, lean, reach. So you really bring the head of the arm bone out of the socket, really reach, draw it back, externally rotate, and grab the foot. Take another big breath in. That whole idea of spinning the rib cage, spin it towards the inside of the right thigh and pull the heel in. Spread the toes. So now that you've seen both, choose one or stay in pigeon. You can stay in pigeon for a couple more breaths. And then you slowly flex the ankle, slowly release. I know it's a lot. Straighten out your left leg. Come back onto your hands and step it back to downward facing dog. Whew, that was a mouthful. Take it easy, walk it out, march it out. Good, second side. You're stepping, bringing your left leg up, bend the knee, open up the hip. Step it forward to your left hand. Don't worry, that really lovely back bend is coming up, I promise. It's coming up very shortly. Good, so once you get your left foot forward, walk your left foot over to the right. I'm walking it over to the right, but I'm bringing it closer to my right knee so that when I rest my left knee down, my shin is kind of like at a 45-degree angle as opposed to 90. So it's not parallel to the short end of my mat, not by any stretch of the imagination. So remember, you can stay here. You don't have to go any further than this, or you can stay here. You don't have to go for that quad stretch. Okay, so choose whichever option works best for you. Before you go for the bind, I do want you though to hold this position. The thing with the bind is, even if you just bent the knee and pull the heel to your butt, you're gonna get that stretch. Again, it may not be as deep a sensation as if you grabbed a hold of the foot, but you're still gonna feel something. There is still something happening because you contracted the hamstring. So when you're ready, choose your variation. I'm gonna go for my favorite here. Get that lean in. Really, really reach. Open up and grab the foot. Any amount. Remember, you got to bend the knee in order to reach the foot. If you don't bend the knee, you're not going to get the foot. Draw the head of the right arm bone back so you're not sinking in the shoulder. When you're ready, carefully release, engage your hamstring. Carefully release. Whew, I think we need to stretch it out. Like what we've been doing all along, right? Let's go back to downward dog and just walk it out. Tell you what, freestyle. Freestyle with downward dog. Step the feet wide as the mat, bring them in close. Do whatever you want to do here in your downward dog. Turn your attention inward and tap into your higher self and listen. What is it? What does your body need? What is it asking you for? What does that look like? What does that feel like? Once you're finished having freestyling it, shift forward, bring your knees down. And let's have a pause. So we're going to do a twist first, and then we're going to set up for this this back bend. And like I said, it's very much like one we've done before with our yoga blocks, but this should feel more comfortable because it's your towel or your blanket. So for our twist, hello there, Miko. Stretch both of your legs out in front of you to start. Just circle through your ankle. Both directions, as I'm doing here. You can open and close your toes. Just go nuts. A couple more, and maybe even circle the wrist. Okay, come to stillness and just check back in with your shoulders. How does the neck and the shoulders feel? Hopefully they're feeling good, feeling a little bit looser. Good. So we're going to take it into a seated twist. So choices, left leg can stay straight, or you can bend your left knee, bringing the left heel to your outer right hip. That's what's happening with the left leg. The right foot can either stay here or can come to the outside of your left leg. You can take this option if it is possible for both of your sitting bones to be on your mat and your right foot be on the ground. This is your friend if your sitting bones are not on the ground. Sit up on your yoga block. Your left heel should not be underneath your butt. It needs to be on the outside. Okay, And once you're in this position, notice whether it feels like you are off to one side. You want to be perfectly balanced. Okay. Once you've got that, hold onto your shin as you inhale. Just gently encourage that extension that happens naturally and lift the chest up. Exhale. Now bring the right hand behind you. Take another inhale and exhale. Twist from the base. Remember that twisting thing I've been trying to explain all evening? Twist to your right. So the left hand can stay here. It can wrap around the elbow crease and come around the front of the right shin, sorry, and hug the knee in. Or depending on how blue you are, well, you know what, I'm not going to bother to show you that. Actually, I can't. Some people are able to get this arm, their left arm, across the top of the right thigh and maybe grab their right foot. I can't do that. So I'm going to hang out here. Yeah. On your next inhalation, slowly start to unwind from the base of the spine to the crown. Carefully uncross your legs. Take a moment and stretch them all the way out. Good. Second side. Right knee. Left leg crosses over right thigh. Both sides of the body are not usually equal or the same, so check in, notice how it feels. For me, I'm going to stretch this bottom leg out on this side. Okay, wherever you're at, left hand comes behind you. So again, lift yourself up, keep the spine long, big breath in, and you're twisting to your left. So if the left leg is over the right, your upper body is twisting to the left. So you're twisting into your knee. So, okay, I don't know what's happening there, Kay, but twist to the opposite direction of your leg. Nope. Okay, well, twist the other way, your upper body the other way. Nope, not your legs. It's just your upper body that needs to twist in the opposite direction. Nope. Your upper body needs to twist in the opposite direction from your legs. Yeah. There you go. So, okay, you stay there. Ladies, slowly unwind from the base of the spine, through the rib cage, neck and head, and across your legs. All right. So we have a few minutes left in class. So we're going to set up for this back bend. And it is, it's essentially supported fish pose. We've done it before with our yoga blocks, but like I said to you before at the beginning of practice, I felt the towel or the blanket might be a little comfortable. It's actually going to come, you know, you step out of the shower, you can come out of the twist slowly from the base to the top. You're gonna bring it around you. You're gonna lie down on it as if you were wrapping it around yourself like a towel. So it should come just below the tips of your shoulder blades. So you're gonna bring it across the mat, this. Okay. You might have to, you will have to play to find that sweet spot. Come down onto your forearms or your elbows. Find the tips of the shoulder blades. And then, oh yeah. And the good thing about it is that it's soft, it's comfortable, and you don't have to worry about any discomfort in your neck, hopefully. Now, my preference is to bring my arms in cactus because this helps to open up the chest a little bit more. And it's also opening up the mid upper back. Now, with your feet, option number one, keep the knees bent and pointing up. Walk the feet out, let the knees fall in. Do the opposite, walk the feet in, let the knees fall out. If you're going to go with this option, which is a Supta Baddha Konasana option, place blocks underneath your knees so you don't overstretch the inner thighs, or stretch your legs all the way out. Once you've found your arm and leg position, just close your eyes and breathe. When you are ready to come out of this, roll onto your side, move it out from underneath you, and come onto your back once again. Okay, so from here, you're just easing into your Shavasana. So turn your attention inward. Once you've made sure that you've got your towel or blanket in the right space, breathe in deeply through your nose. Feel the expansion of your belly and your rib cage. Exhale softly through the nose. Feel the belly soften and fall as you exhale. Allow your body, your entire body, to just drape over your blanket. Allow your body to soften and to dissolve. Free your mind from any worry, only focus on your breath. Once again, becoming aware of your body on your mat, becoming aware of your breath. Beginning to create a little movement in the body, reconnecting with the breath, just gently starting to wake yourself up. Moving very slowly, very carefully, just gently lulling yourself out of this rested state. You can bring your knees in one at a time into the chest. And give yourself a great big hug and squeeze. Maybe shift the knees around, maybe rock a little bit from side to side if that feels comforting and good for you. And then bringing your feet to the floor, making your way onto your side and taking a moment there. And then with the same care and attention that you gave yourself throughout your entire practice today, make your way up and come into a comfortable and steady seat. Let's close with the sound of Om. Bring your hands together at the heart center, Anjali Mudra or Namaskar. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, and then inhale, exhale, Om. So take a deep breath in, exhale, inhale. Thank you so much for trusting me to guide you through your practice today and for sharing your energy with me. Be free, be true, and always be you. Blessed be. Thank you very much.